Hi, my name is Chantal. I was born and raised in Medford, Wisconsin. I spent a majority of my life there, probably about 19 years. I guess I had a pretty decent childhood. Still, when I look back on it, I kind of tend to think that when I was a child and a teenager, I wasn't a particularly happy person. When I was in high school, I was really hopeful that it would be a good time in my life, but honestly, it wasn't. I had a lot of friends, but again, I really just wasn't happy with myself as a person, and I didn't have a lot of self-esteem. And I tended to care more about my social life and how my social life was, and I kind of put that before my grades and my schoolwork, so I didn't get the best grades in high school. If I did have good grades in high school, they were mostly from my art classes. After high school, I did a little soul searching. I took a few random road trips to places like Michigan and Iowa and Illinois. I was mostly just trying to find myself and trying to figure out what my future had in store for me and what was out there in the world because, like I said, I spent a majority of my life in Medford, so I didn't get a big chance to really go out and see the world for myself until after I graduated. Eventually, after a little soul searching, I found myself in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and I lived there for about a year and a half, and I was inspired to go back to school, and I started going to Gateway Technical College. I wasn't 100% sure of what I wanted to do in college yet, so I just kind of enrolled into the multimedia certificate program. While I was living in Kenosha, I made a trip to Madison at one point to visit my sister, and while I was in Madison, I just really loved the atmosphere of the city, and I ended up finding a program at Madison Area Technical College called Visual Communications, and every class in the program seemed to be a class that I would really like. I've always loved art and being creative and expressing myself through art, so I figured visual communications would be a really good choice for me. I chose the program because it seemed to have a little bit of everything. It had photography, it had graphic design, it had video production, it had sound, it had animation. I really liked the program because I figured once I graduate, then I can get a job in a variety of different fields instead of just a few. I changed my mind a couple times. I wondered if this was the exact program for me, but I stuck with visual communications and I'm still happy with my decision. For the last few years, I've gone through the visual communications program, and I spent the last few years also working at a Goodwill retail store. Eventually, my confidence grew a great deal while working at Goodwill. And it wasn't just working with Goodwill. Over the last few years in the visual communications program, I've met a lot of people, and I've had a lot of instructors that were very supportive and very encouraging to us as students. Over the last few years, I feel like my confidence has grown a lot more compared to how it used to be. I used to have a lot of issues with depression and anxiety when I was younger, but throughout the years, I've learned to really understand my issues with depression, and I've learned to be able to live with it. For my future, I still hope to continue to work with photography and graphic design and video work. Who knows what the future holds for me? I guess I'll just have to find out.